All right, I think it's pretty safe to say that the Andy Dalton experience with the New Orleans Saints needs to be over with sooner than later. You look at him in the last 4 games, it's been terrible. He had 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions against the Arizona Cardinals, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions against the Las Vegas Raiders. But the Vegas Raiders game was carried mostly by their defense because Las Vegas Raiders didn't score. Look at him against the Baltimore Ravens, had numerous opportunities to go down there and score touchdowns, a lot of missed throws, and then against the Pittsburgh Steelers today, as I record this video, 174 passing yards, 2 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. When I look at Andy Dalton, I look at a guy that is a fine backup, but nothing more. I think that Jameis Winston should be the starting quarterback for this team, and if it's not Jameis Winston, it should be Taysom Hill. I said that in my last video about the New Orleans Saints, and I have to say this with Dennis Allen. He is single-handedly also holding this team back. The defense looks fine. It looks capable because they're always dealing with injuries. You have some nice players in Cameron Jordan, who is still a really good premier pass rusher in the NFL. Alontae Taylor looks like he's going to be the second best corner on this team behind Marshawn Lattimore when he's able to stay healthy. So the defense is still very good. But I look at this offense. They're ranked number 6 in total when I record this video. But guess what? Andy Dalton consistently goes out there, misses throws, and throws more interceptions than what Jameis Winston's done in the last couple of games. The only reason Jameis Winston has been benched is because of the back and ankle injuries. And if Jameis Winston's not able to go, you have to put Taysom Hill in there to be the starting quarterback. I'm sick and tired of the excuses come from Dennis Allen saying that the offense looked fine. It looked capable underneath Andy Dalton. No, it didn't. The only thing was that it was more conservative. And guess what? They're more conservative, and you're having still the same problems that you had with Jameis Winston. The thing was with Jameis Winston, you're going to still get those bigger plays. With Andy Dalton, you're not getting those big plays anymore, and you're still getting a lot of turnover-worthy things going on with Andy Dalton in this offense. I'm sick and tired of seeing him come out here and him try Andy Dalton. For whatever reason, he's taking a liking to Andy Dalton more than Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston had a shorter leash than what Andy Dalton had, and Jameis Winston has dealt with injuries. Jameis Winston was more successful with the New Orleans Saints than what Andy Dalton has been so far. I'm sick and tired of seeing him come out of here, and I'm sick and tired of seeing him throw dumb interceptions and miss on the key throws. Jameis Winston is a better passer of the football, and he's just a better quarterback right now. And we saw it last season with Jameis Winston. I feel very bad for Jameis Winston because he can't get his shot right with this team. Last season seemed like it was going to be a season. He started out decent, tears his ACL against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, comes back this season, has a comeback victory against the Atlanta Falcons. And yes, they lost against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but Mark Ingram fumbled in the red zone. And there was a lot of other things that didn't go Jameis Winston's way as well. He did throw some interceptions in that game, but he hasn't gotten that fair opportunity. And when he did get it, he suffered the back injuries with the vertebrae, and then he had the ankle injuries. I just don't understand why he doesn't get his opportunity back. I get it that Andy Dalton looked comfortable for those first couple of games, but damn, it's time to move on. It's time to move on from Andy Dalton. All right, and if you want to keep Andy Dalton out here, I can tell you right now, when you go against the best defenses in the NFL, this is going to constantly continue to happen. Yes, they had to win over the Las Vegas Raiders. They're not a really good defense, but when you go against tough, gritty defenses like the Pittsburgh Steelers, like the Baltimore Ravens, like the Cincinnati Bengals, you're not going to win those games because Andy Dalton isn't that guy to carry you over that hump. Jameis Winston can be. Yes, he has turnover problems as well, but you have more explosiveness with Jameis Winston. And to be perfectly honest with you, before the injury started, Jameis Winston cut down on the turnovers. The turnovers weren't that bad until the back injury started, till it started to show up. That Thursday night should have been the last time Andy Dalton started for the New Orleans Saints when they went against the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, he threw 2 pick sixes. One was not his fault. The wide receiver dropped it. It went from being a pick 6. But the second interception he threw, that was his fault. And every other interception that he's thrown this season has all been his fault. The 10 touchdowns to 5 interceptions don't seem bad on surface level. But if you are a New Orleans Saints fan, or if you're just a viewer of football like me and you really pay attention to minute details, the offensive line protection is worse. Because Andy Dalton holds onto the football for too long. He doesn't have any playmaking ability, and he misses a lot of wide open receivers, whether it's a tight end that's wide open in the end zone like how it was against the Baltimore Ravens, or whether he's missing a Chris Olave like how he did against the Pittsburgh Steelers late in the third quarter, or he's leading Chris Olave into linebackers. So it's either you need to stop starting Andy Dalton now and start Jameis Winston, or you go to Taysom Hill, who you're paying a lot of money to do nothing. The only explosive times we've seen Taysom Hill in this offense was against the Seattle Seahawks. And other than that Monday night, they didn't use him at all. 1 passing attempt, 1 rush attempt. We need to see more Taysom Hill on this field. whether it's in a quarterback role, running back role, tight end role, or wide receiver role. But this team is definitely missing Sean Payton right now. The play callings of Sean Payton, for sure. And I love me some Pete Carmichael. But I think the role should have been switched. Maybe Pete Carmichael should have been the head coach of this team instead of Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen's a fine defensive play caller, but the fact that he constantly wants to put Andy Dalton out here is utter BS when you have a guy that you were pretty successful with in Jameis Winston. Like I said, you go back to the Falcons game. He carried them back in that game. They won that game. Yes, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he had the 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. But look at it at surface level. 1 interception was not his fault. The other 2 interceptions weren't his fault. And he was still getting them down the field. The one tide of the turns of that game, when ties turned in that game, was when Mark Ingram fumbled in the red zone. And no, I'm not trying to say it was Mark Ingram's fault, but Jameis Winston kept him in close in that game. Every single turnover that Andy Dalton has is not getting the Saints any closer to winning a game. It's time to start Jameis Winston, or it's time to start Taysom Hill. And the last game we saw Jameis Winston in, yes, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, is dealing with the back injury, and we haven't seen him since. He's over there holding a clipboard. So if he's not 100% ready to go, Taysom Hill time it is. But this should be the last Sunday, the last football game that Andy Dalton should be the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do they need to get off of Andy Dalton, or should they just keep him in the game? Maybe you disagree with me. Let me know in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most important, each and the last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.